at the hands of stress as a football fan, because last night Spurs beat Manchester United 4-3 to reach the last four of the Carabao Cup.
Son swings it in. Oh, it's gone all the way! The fourth goal for Tottenham. That's the clincher.
Spurs were 3-0 up before two errors from goalkeeper Fraser Forster allowed United back. Son Heung-min's goal made it 4-2 before Johnny Evans' late header led to a nervy finish. United's manager Ruben Amorim didn't want to point the blame at any particular player though.
We will see the game and we will improve every player of this team. So we win together, lose together. You already know, guys, that it's not the individual, it's the team. We could win even with all these goals in the game. We could win this game. So let's focus on that.
Right, we can now speak to Spurs podcaster Chris Cowlin. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Gordon. Good morning, Laura. How are you?
Yeah, world class. Great to have you on, Chris. Thanks for your time. We've also got Manchester United fan Joe Smith. Good morning, Joe.
Morning, guys. You okay?
Yeah, great to have you on. Joe runs the Stretford Paddock YouTube channel and podcast. Right, Joe, I'm going to start with you. How are you feeling at 17 minutes past 6 in the morning after that?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Everything, all my emotions are completely shot after yesterday. I don't know what I was watching. I couldn't explain any of it to you. It was one of the most remarkable and sort of memorable and I don't even know, just shocking games of football I've ever seen, and not necessarily in a good way. Yes,
it's a funny one, isn't it? I meant to say just at the very beginning as well, there was a flag up about Marcus Rashford. Before we go any further, do you think if he'd played there'd have been a difference?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I know he's someone that looks like he's out of form, but he does tend to turn up in big games. But I don't, begrudge the manager for leaving him out. If he's not pulling his weight in training, then that's what he's got to do.
Oh, I like it. I did see that line, didn't I? Ruben Amorim says that he didn't want to blame any particular player. In the days of Roy Keane, that wouldn't happen. Do you think behind the scenes he's blaming any particular player?
Well, he left two out at the weekend and he left one out this weekend, so he clearly is blaming people. He's not someone who goes, well, go out there and enjoy yourselves, lads. He's saying if the standards aren't there, you're not going to play, and even if that's our biggest name player in Marcus Rashford. So, yeah, he's clearly someone that has standards and behind the scenes, points the finger a little bit and tries to get the best out of everyone. I think he's got to do that. The state United have found ourselves in after the last sort of 10 years of disarray, he's got to be like that.
Early days, Joe, but what are you thinking so far of Amorim? Do you think he looks like he's the kind of guy that's got the metal and the guile as a manager to sort it?
Yeah, I almost want to sort of take yesterday out of how I look at things, because that game should have been a 1-1. I mean, the idea that it was 4-3 is absolutely ludicrous. There's only two proper goals scored in the whole game, but yeah. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Yeah, we've got more of a sort of clear style of play, and I think we held the ball well. We held the ball well against City as well. It looks like we can, even with players who aren't really used to the system, we look as though we can compete on a sort of level with the top teams, which is all we wanted to see, really.
All right, good man, Joe. Right, Chris, bringing you in. How do you feel at 90 minutes past 6 this morning after that roller coaster of a game of football?
It was certainly a roller coaster, but I'm feeling absolutely delighted. Of course, it was a mad game, 3-0 up. Absolutely cruising, in the words of Ange Postecoglou, cruising in the game, and then of course United come back, and then everyone in the stadium thinking not again, because we've seen this happen time and time again over the years. Remember back in the day, Spurs were 3-0 up at half-time at White Hart Lane, and then United come back and scored 5 and beat us 5-3, so we thought, is this going to happen again? But this is what we do at Spurs. It's truly entertaining stuff under Ange Postecoglou, but regardless of what happened in the game, it's just an absolute delight to go through to the semi-finals. We've got a real chance of putting a trophy in the cabinet. Of course, we face Liverpool, which hopefully they will not go at full strength in the semi-finals, because their focus will be on the Premier League and the Champions League. But yeah, absolutely delighted this morning that we're through to the next round.
Yeah, that cabinet needs a trophy, doesn't it, Chris?
Absolutely. Nearly 17 long years without a trophy, and when you think that the quality of managers and all of the quality of the players that we've had through the door that have gone and left the football club without winning a trophy, Harry Kane included, our record goal scorer, we certainly do need a trophy. And, as Ange Postecoglou has said many times, he always wins a trophy in his second year, so let's hope that this one is the one.
Well, here's the thing, Chris, me and Laura are both very familiar with Postecoglou from his time in Scotland. I watched his teams tear through my team, but then that happens quite a lot, so maybe it's not a great measure of it. But he has delivered on what he promised with entertaining football, and that's what Spurs fans have been crying out for a long time, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think it is about time and patience. there was criticism of his appointment originally from the Tottenham Hotspur fan base, but I think that he's won a lot of people round. And it's funny because when I was up in Glasgow last week for the game against Rangers, I went and done the tour of Celtic. And all of the staff, as I walked in, they said, "You're a Spurs fan?" And I said, "Yeah." And they went, "Give him time, give him patience. He will deliver for you." So I see the long-term plan. I love the football under Postecoglou. And like I said, we're being entertained every single game. And I think it's the team that every neutral fan wants to watch at the moment.
So how do you feel about facing Spurs then, after a performance like that? How do you think it'll go?
The Liverpool game, you mean?
Yeah. Sorry, Liverpool, yeah. Sorry.
Well, of course, we face Liverpool on the weekend, on Sunday, in the Premier League. And, it's going to be a very, very difficult game. Of course, they rested a number of players midweek in the Carabao Cup. But yeah, we're going to be facing one of the best teams in the country. But this season so far, we seem to have really competed against the best teams in the Premier League, and they've been really entertaining games. So we've got to give everything. But credit to the players, because we have got 10 first-team players out at the moment. And I know a lot of managers normally moan and whinge about injuries, but Spurs have had a lot of injury problems this season. And so, in the way that we delivered last night, of course, at Southampton at the weekend. So, we should be going into this game against Liverpool with real big confidence. Yep,
you need to get those centre-halves fit and healthy, don't you, Chris? Joe, before we let you go, why on earth did you sell Scott McTominay?
Well, because we needed the money. Because we've wasted money on players who aren't as good as Scott McTominay, and thought he's 40 million or 30 million profit that we can make. And we decided to get rid of him. But I don't know. I think Ugarte's been very good in that position and put in another good shift last night as well. But yeah, it's a shame it got to a point where selling Scott McTominay was the only option for us to buy players. But that's where we got to.
Would you have him back if you could have him back?
I think with Scott McTominay, I like him, and I think he always works hard, and not everyone at United always works hard, so I'll give him that. But I do feel like we need to get to a point where Scott McTominay is not starting week in, week out for us. There aren't many Scott McTominays starting for league title winning sides, so eventually we wanted to get there anyway. It's just a shame he had to be an academy player who, like I said, works hard, and also might have stopped us conceding from so many set pieces this season with his height.
Yep, that's the wrong answer, Joe. You would take him back, that's what we're going to say.
I would take him back, yeah, I would.
Good man. Correct. Joe Smith, thank you very much. Stretford Paddock YouTube channel, check it out. And Chris Cowlin as well. Thank you so much for coming on, Chris. Cheers, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Brilliant stuff. Right, it's 6:24. You're listening to 5 Live with Laura McGee and Gordon Smart.
Yes, good morning.